The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town. It was a grand Victorian mansion, with a sweeping porch and a turret that reached up to the sky. Eleanor, a young woman with eyes full of naive hope, had inherited the house from her grandmother. She had always loved visiting as a child. The house held a strange allure, a whispering promise of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Eleanor spent her first few days unpacking boxes and exploring the dusty rooms. The house was filled with her grandmother's belongings, antique furniture, faded photographs, and books with yellowed pages. Sunlight streamed through the stained glass windows, casting rainbows on the hardwood floors. The house seemed peaceful, almost welcoming. One night, Eleanor was awakened by a sound. It was faint, a whisper just on the edge of hearing. She sat up in bed, her heart pounding. The only sound was the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hallway. She glanced at the clock, 3:33 a.m. Eleanor tried to dismiss it as her imagination, but a shiver ran down her spine. Something wasn't right. This house, her legacy, held a darkness she couldn't explain. The next few nights were the same. The whispers returned, always at 3:33 a.m. They seemed to be coming from the walls, from the floorboards, from everywhere and nowhere at once. Eleanor tried to ignore them, but they grew louder each night. They seemed to slither around her, pronouncements in some unknowable tongue. The words remained unintelligible, but the malicious intent was clear. Eleanor started to feel a presence in the house. She would feel a cold spot in a room, or see something move out of the corner of her eye. She began to dread going to sleep, knowing that the whispers would be waiting for her. One afternoon, Eleanor decided to explore the attic. She had always been curious about it as a child, but her grandmother had forbidden her from going up there. The musty air was thick with dust as she climbed the creaking stairs. Cobwebs clung to her face as she pushed open the heavy wooden door. The attic was dark and dusty. Eleanor could barely make out the shapes of old furniture and forgotten toys. As she ventured further into the room, she noticed a faint glow emanating from the corner. Brushing aside cobwebs, she discovered a small door hidden behind a tattered tapestry. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow compartment. Inside, an ornately framed mirror stood propped against the wall. Its silver surface was tarnished, but it still held a captivating gleam. Eleanor carefully lifted the mirror, her fingers tracing its cold, smooth surface. She brought the mirror back to her room. As she dusted it off, she noticed something strange. The reflection in the mirror was smiling. Eleanor wasn't. She stopped dusting and stared at her reflection. The reflection continued to smile, a cruel, knowing smile that sent chills down Eleanor's spine. That night, the whispers were louder than ever. They seemed to be coming from the mirror, swirling around it like a vortex of darkness. Eleanor tried to look away, but she couldn't. She was transfixed by the mirror, by the evil that seemed to emanate from its depths. 3:33 a.m. The whispers morphed. No longer faint murmurs, they became screams of anguish echoing around Eleanor's room. She covered her ears, but the sound pierced through her hands, her skull, her very being. Her gaze fell upon the ancient mirror. In its reflection, she saw it. Something else stood behind her, its form shifting and swirling in the darkness. Its eyes, two burning embers, locked onto hers, reflecting an ancient, insatiable hunger. Eleanor was paralyzed with fear. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. She was trapped, caught in the mirror's gaze, in the entity's grasp. The house, once a place of childhood memories, had become her prison. The whispers, now screams, were its symphony of torment. And Eleanor, the inheritor of this haunted legacy, was about to become another victim, lost forever in its depths.